Daisy, it's been a while. I'm mad at you. You're my son's wife, and you don't even call me. What do you think you're doing? Hey, are you listening to me? You've got some nerve ignoring me, your mother-in-law.
Hi, long time no see. Sorry, I was at work until just a few minutes ago. I just saw your message. What can I do for you?
What do you mean, what can I do for you? You haven't contacted me in 3 months. What is wrong with you? Why should I have to contact you? You don't even know how to behave like a proper in-law.
Could it be that you haven't heard yet?
What? I'm talking to you right now, so don't interrupt me.
Huh?
It's not huh. It's yes, Mom. You're unbelievable. You can't even reply properly.
Yes, ma'am.
And don't try to use work as an excuse. I'm your husband's mother. I'm the one who went out of my way to contact you. From now on, I want you to reply immediately. Understood? Are you listening to me? Yes, right?
Yes, Mom.
The only reason I called you today was to give you a piece of my mind. I can't believe I have to say this at all.
Yes. What is it now?
I went to see where you guys moved to yesterday.
What? Where are we? What do you mean?
I told you not to interrupt. First of all, shut up and listen to me. It's just common sense, right?
Yes, Mom.
I couldn't believe it when I went in the place. You haven't done any housework at all. There were so many clothes thrown all over the place. There was nowhere to stand. How can you live in a pig pen like that? You don't even wash the dishes after you eat. The sink was a mess. The refrigerator was almost empty. I found tons of sandwich wrappers and snack packages from the convenience store in the garbage. Are you feeding my Eddie all the unhealthy food? Not only that, there were a bunch of empty beer cans in a garbage bag. My Eddie doesn't drink alcohol, so it must be you.
No, I can't tolerate alcohol in the first place. I do not drink beer.
So, how many times do I have to tell you not to interrupt me?
Sorry.
Also, the carpets were filthy with dust and hair. You haven't even vacuumed. You're going to make excuses like you're too busy working anyway. I told you, you should be a stay-at-home wife. And yet, you say you can manage to juggle housework and the job. You just wanted to work and didn't listen to a thing I said. I said, well, if you can manage both, it's fine. I respected your opinion. But if you don't want to take care of your husband, Edwin, then you should quit your job right now. After all, a woman should be a stay-at-home wife.
Are we done here?
Huh?
I was told not to interrupt, so I waited for you to finish. It looks as though you're mistaken about a lot of things, so I'd like to correct you.
Huh? Mistaken? I'm not mistaken about anything. I won't allow excuses or backtalk.
First of all, it seems you haven't heard from Edwin. We're divorced.
I heard about it.
What?
I told you I know you're divorced.
You know it, but you call me your mother-in-law?
Yes, what's the problem? Listen, Daisy. Divorced or not, it doesn't matter. You two live together, right? As long as you live together, you are Edwin's wife and our daughter-in-law. As his wife, as our daughter-in-law. It's a matter of course that you can take care of the house so that he can live comfortably, isn't it? That's not all. Of course, you are devoted to Edwin, your husband. It is only natural that you also pay respect to me, Edwin's mother.
That's such a moot point. If we're divorced, then Edwin and I are strangers now. And I am a stranger to you as well. From the day we stopped being husband and wife, we started our separate lives.
So, I am telling you not to talk back to me, your mother-in-law.
I am telling you that you are no longer my mother-in-law. This is not backtalk. I am just stating the obvious.
What is wrong with you? If you have time to talk back to me, then get on with your chores. It's impossible for you to balance a job and housework, isn't it? Like I said before, if you can't do both, you should quit your job. If you can't tell your company, I can tell your company that you're quitting.
Please don't do that. If you do that, it will cause trouble at work.
It's because you didn't quit earlier. If you don't want me to contact the company, I suggest you resign on your own.
I'm not quitting my job.
Huh? You're the wife and you're going to defy me.
I don't intend to. But if I quit my job, I won't be able to make a living.
Are you trying to say that Edwin's salary is too low? You really are the worst. I don't know why Edwin chose you as his wife. If you manage things properly, you should be able to live on Edwin's salary just fine. It's your role as a wife to manage money well.
Therefore, since we are already divorced, I'm not the wife.
You're tenacious. If you think that by saying that you don't have to do the housework, you were mistaken.
Well, to begin with, I moved after the divorce and now live in a different area.
Huh? Moved?
Yes, it just kind of happened. I was offered the transfer right after the divorce. I thought it was a good opportunity, so I accepted and moved.
I can't believe it. The wife moved out by herself. Husbands and wives are supposed to live together.
As I have told you many times, I am divorced from Edwin, and we are no longer a couple. Therefore, I am not moving in alone.
I will not allow it. Quit your job immediately and come back.
Huh?
Well, I'm being nice. I'll give you a reprieve. I think you have to tell the company at least a month before you resign, don't you? If you tell the company you're leaving now, I'll give you a month to take over the responsibilities. But I can't imagine Eddie spending another month in that dirty house. I'll take care of Eddie until you come back. You should be grateful.
You haven't listened to the thing I said. I'm not going to quit my job, and I'm not going to move out. We're divorced, and this is crazy.
What's so crazy? You think you're so smart. Just get moving and quit your job and come back. I understood.
Edwin, how's it going? I need to talk to you. Is this a good time?
Daisy, long time no see. How are you?
Sorry for calling you, even though we're divorced.
No, that's totally fine. We didn't get divorced because we weren't getting along. Well, if one of us finds someone someday, then we'll probably have to stop communicating so much. But so far, it doesn't look like that's going to happen to me. I'm totally fine with it.
Me too. No problem at all.
So, what's the story?
Actually, it's about your mom.
My mom? Did she do something to you again?
Well, you could say she did something. She contacted me today. I couldn't get through to her at all, and I'm having a hard time.
What did she say?
To sum it up, she said that even if we get divorced, I'm still your wife, and I'm still her daughter-in-law.
Huh? No way.
So she told me not to neglect my housework. If I couldn't balance housework and my job, then I have to quit my job. She told me to tell the company I was quitting and then come back home in a month.
I don't get it. Why would she say something like that? So, what did you say?
Edwin and I are divorced, so we are strangers now. I told her that I'm not quitting the company, and I have no intention of going back. She didn't understand me at all. No matter what I said, she kept saying that I'm the wife, even if we are divorced. I'm at my wit's end. That's why I contacted you.
I'm really sorry. She's the same as ever, isn't she? That's what I hate about her.
Oh yeah, by the way, she still calls you my Eddie.
Seriously, after I told her to stop, I'm having a mental breakdown again.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel bad.
It's not your fault.
Are you still not feeling well?
About that, I went back to my parents' house after the divorce, right? Right after that, my parents separated.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Apparently, my dad had reached to the end of his rope with my mom. I guess he thought he could leave her in my hands now that I was back. After that, her interference with me was worse than ever. I couldn't take it anymore. I was mentally at my limit. So I snuck out of the house in the middle of the night, while my mom was sleeping. She kept calling and texting me. I never answered her calls or read her messages. I don't plan on going back to my parents' house.
I see. You've been through a lot as well.
She's the reason we got divorced. If it weren't for her, I think we'd be doing well. I couldn't stand the fact that you felt bad because of her. I thought that if we got divorced, it would be over. But I guess I was naive.
I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I told you I was staying at my aunt's place after the divorce, didn't I?
Yeah.
Actually, after that, I got transferred to the place pretty far away.
Oh, really?
I told your mom about it, but I didn't tell her where I was. She's not gonna be able to come after me or anything, so don't worry.
Then I'm glad.
I'm rather worried about you.
Me?
Your mother. She told me I had to come back in a month. She said, in the meantime, she'd be taking care of you. Doesn't that mean she knows where you live now?
Oh God, no way. I haven't told her. She couldn't know.
Yeah, okay. But yesterday's text message made it sound like she'd already been inside the house. Clothes were strewn all over the place. Sandwich wrappers and beer cans were thrown away. She said all kinds of things. It is possible that the address leaked out, and she broke in while you were gone?
No, I don't think so.
What makes you say that?
I told you I'd be thinking about changing jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mom knows where I work. I didn't want her to get in on it. So I decided to take the opportunity and make a career change. Surprisingly, it didn't take long. I started working there last week.
I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you. The company has a dormitory, and the rent is cheap, so I'm in it. They don't let anybody in the dormitory, even if it's the family member. They can't enter unless the manager and the tenant give permission. I've never heard of my mother coming here. And it's a long way from my parents' house. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Then I guess it's okay. So then, whose house is it that your mother went into?
That's a mystery. Maybe she was streaming? To begin with, I don't eat dinner in my room because there's a cafeteria. And I'm sure you know that I don't drink beer either.
That's right.
Well, it's no use thinking about it. I'll just say Mom was sleepwalking.
I wonder if it's okay.
I'm not even gonna be in touch with my mom anymore. I'm going to block her messages at some point. As long as there's no harm done to me, I don't care what she does. If I don't take a stand, I won't be able to go on.
You're right.
You can block Mom too, Daisy. You're in no more of a position to have anything to do with her than I am. You don't have to be involved with that person.
Yeah, right. I've been kind of concerned about her movements, so I just left it about it. I'll just keep an eye on her a little bit longer, and then I'll block her.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I haven't had dinner yet. I've got to go. If I don't get going, the cafeteria is gonna be closed.
Yeah, okay. I'll call you if I hear anything else.
Yeah, I'll call you too. Daisy, what should I do? I don't know what's going. I was just taking care of my Yeti for you. Hey, Daisy! Hurry up and answer me back. Hey! I'm your mother-in-law. I'm calling you because I'm in trouble. You can't just ignore me.
What can I do for you?
I finally got a reply. Hey, what's going on?
So, what is it?
I was cleaning Eddie's room for you, as usual. Suddenly, a young woman I don't know came in. She shouted at me, "Hey lady, what are you doing in my apartment? Don't tell me you're a thief." I said, "This is Edwin's room. What do you think you're doing?" Then, a guy with red hair who looked like he was a thug came in and said to me, "Who you old lady? Get out of here right now. I'm calling the police." He was yelling at me. I didn't know what to do. I was so freaked out I hid in the bathroom. Who are those people? Those ruffians. Don't tell me you're friends of yours.
Well, I don't think so. But the room you're in right now has nothing to do with Edwin?
Huh? That can't be true.
Where are you now?
Where? It's an apartment on Stanford Street.
Stanford Street. So could it be an apartment building called Stanford Heights?
Yes, I think you're right. It's apartment 402, isn't it? You and Eddie live here, don't you?
What makes you think that?
Because Eddie left us. And then I found a note in his desk. It had the address of this place written on it. When I came here, there were enough dishes for both of you. I thought to myself, there's no doubt about it. He's back in with you after all. So why am I being treated like a thief? And why is this happening to me?
That apartment. It was my aunt's apartment that I stayed in for a couple of weeks right after the divorce. After that, I was transferred to a new place. And my aunt moved to a different place and moved out of there. So perhaps the men and women you just met are the new occupants.
Oh no. Then, what was that note Eddie left to me?
He probably didn't leave it for you. I gave Edwin the address, so I think he wrote it down at that time. I left some important business documents at the house where we lived together. So I gave him my address so that he could send them to my aunt's house. I think he forgot to dispose of the note after he finished using it.
What's that? I thought he left me his address. I thought he could see him anytime, so I didn't chase after him. Then where is Edwin now?
I don't know.
You're lying. You really know, don't you? Tell me. Don't lie to my face. How can it be that a wife doesn't know where her husband is?
That's enough.
We're already divorced.
You were the cause of our divorce.
Huh? I'm the cause of your divorce?
Edwin has always been fed up with your terrible interference. Especially after we got married. You treated me as if I was your personal servant. Edwin, who was so kind to me, thought it was his fault and that he couldn't take care of me. He was driven into a mental corner.
Oh no.
We thought that if things continued as they were, we would both be ruined, so we talked it over. We came to the conclusion that divorcing would lighten the mental burden. We divorced.
That's a lie. What is wrong with a mother's love for her son?
Your overly strong feelings were a burden to your son. He said he had no intention of contacting you.
What did you just say?
By the way, are you sure?
What?
Isn't this a bad time to be talking to me? You holed up in someone else's bathroom right now, aren't you?
Oh my god. What should I do? I hear the sirens of the police car.
Well, I think that you would. The police contacted my father-in-law, and I found out through Edwin who heard about it. How did my ex-mother-in-law get into the apartment? One day, when the current residents, a working couple, forgot to lock the door and went to work. My ex-mother-in-law went there and was able to get into the room. She found the key and just went ahead and made a duplicate one. My former mother-in-law mistakenly thought that the apartment was her son's. She broke into the room once every 2 days without permission. And finally, she ran into the current resident couple. Ordinarily, my ex-father-in-law, who had wanted to divorce her, apparently used this incident as the last straw to slam divorce papers on her. Without knowing the whereabouts of her beloved son, she tried to claim my ex-father-in-law, saying I hate being alone, but in the end, it seems the two of them got divorced. The house where my ex-mother-in-law lived was under my ex-father-in-law's name, so they sold it, and she, who had nowhere else to go, had already lost her family home, and with no one to rely on, she reluctantly began living alone. In a small apartment intended for singles, she works part-time during the day and spends her nights crying. I've done something wrong to you. Please, I beg you to help me. This was written in a text message sent just before being blocked.